Have you ever wondered what really drives your moral choices? Not the rules that you were taught, but the values you actually live by. And most of us inherit a moral code from our family, our religion, our culture, or whatever it may be. But few of us ever actually stop to ask, is this truly mine? So let's dig into that question. How do we identify and test the core values that our moral code is built on? Well, I do have an idea about this. So I think the first logical step is to start with your emotions. They are moral signals after all. So this is like noticing your emotional compass, essentially. So you ask yourself, when have I felt morally outraged? Because anger often points to a value that's being violated. And then you want to ask yourself, when have I felt proud? Because pride reveals a value that you've honoured. And then finally, what virtues do I admire in other people? Because admiration is, in a sense, a mirror that reflects the values that you wish to embody. So that's the first step. And then the next step that makes sense to me is to separate the inherited from the chosen, because many of our values aren't really our own, so to speak. They're sort of cultural habits. So you can test them with a really simple question. Would I still hold this value if I was raised in a completely different culture? If the answer is yes, then it's as good as being yours. And if the answer is no, then it's probably something imposed upon you by culture. So after that, we want to write them down as principles. So you take your key values and you turn them into short, clear, pithy statements. Something like truth matters more than comfort, or people deserve second chances, or whatever it may be. You put your values into words, and when you do that, you can see whether they actually hold up as principles or as just as preferences. After that, the next step is to test them in conflict, because values are easy when life is easy. But what happens when they clash? When honesty conflicts with kindness, which wins? When loyalty conflicts with justice, where do you stand? The way you resolve those moments reveals your true moral hierarchy. And finally, live them, right? Then this is a really important step, and maybe the most important step. You pick one value and you live it deliberately for a week. If, for example, you chose integrity, then don't tell a single lie, not even a tiny one, for the whole week. And then, through that time, notice how it feels. Did it bring coherence or conflict? Because a true core value will integrate into your life, even when it costs something.